New Notre Dame head basketball coach Micah Shrewsberry takes over the Fighting Irish after guiding Penn State to be one of the top shooting teams in the country last season. They shot 38.7% from three and made 10.4 triples per game. They went on to win 3 games in the Big Ten tournament before dropping a tough 67-65 loss to Purdue in the championship game. Coach, it's great to see you again.
Great to see you. Glad I could be here with you.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you could come on. Hey, I wanted to ask you here. You spent 6 years with the Boston Celtics as an assistant from 2013 through 19. What are some things you may have seen or experienced in the NBA that helped you make a transition from like a Penn State to a Notre Dame?
You know what? There's a lot of similarities in within the college game and the NBA, and the games are different, right? How the game's played, the different rules and everything else, but just making that transition and making that leap and getting guys in that want to be coached and want to be better, and especially at the college level, guys that want to reach that level. We try and give them the tools for them to be successful. Show them how hard they need to work to get there. Give them the small bits and pieces that we've picked up during that time, to really slow their learning curve down once they get to that next level. So, but I use it all for good, right? I only give it to the guys that come to play for me here at Notre Dame. So you don't get all the tips unless you come here.
There you go. I got you. Hey, we talked about that close loss to Purdue in those Big Ten finals. You had 2 different stints with the Boilermakers as an assistant to Coach Matt Painter. How has he been instrumental in the rise of your career?
Coach Painter is somebody that I can call on at any point in time. And that's, having that relationship, having somebody that has had that success that he's had at Purdue, but he's also done it in different ways. He is, he's been a part of extreme success, but also failures. And he's battled back or learned how to have a sustainable program through all of those, through the good and the bad. And that's what we want to do here. I can pick his brain on any kind of subject, because when you have a guy that's been a head coach for that long at one place, he's been through, a lot of the different things. So, being still a fairly new head coach at the Division I level, I still lean on him a lot. And a lot of the things that we do as a program comes from some of the things that he's doing at Purdue.
Transfer portal is an entity now, obviously, inside the game. How do you lay the foundation for a program knowing that it can potentially change in or out of your favor almost immediately?
Yeah, I think who you recruit is really important. I think who you bring to your program and who you have be a part of your program is really important. So we still recruit a traditional style. We still recruit a high school kid, and it's our job to get those guys better and make them the best players that they can be while they're here. There's going to be instances where, somebody does leave, right? But we want it to be for the right reasons if they do leave. And that's why, as a staff, we try and pour everything that we have into our guys, into our players. So they want to stay here. And then on the flip side of that is, Notre Dame is an unbelievable academic school, and guys that come here to be great basketball players, but they also come here to be a part of this Notre Dame family and get a great education while they're here. So I'm still doing it the old school way. I know the transfer portal is rolling crazy right now. And there may be instances where we do have to grab a guy here or there. But for the most part, we're going to be traditional in how we recruit.
Now, I noticed Kay Davis comes over from Seton Hall. He played in 32 of his 33 games last season as a true freshman. So, how have you seen him grow since he came back to his home state of Indiana to play for the Fighting Irish?
Yeah, for him, it's about, getting back to a little bit of how he played when he was in high school. The last time he was in Indiana, he is a big kind of point forward for us where he can handle the basketball, and he's got great instincts to pass and make plays for others. And we've done that a lot this summer. I think the way that the way that he played when he was at Seton Hall, the way that he was rebounding basketball and playing with toughness defensively, I think those things can carry over and really help us. So, he's a completely different player after that 1 year there and that learning experience at Seton Hall. And now coming back to Indiana, we want to get more of the playmaking and the offensive side of his game going to match up with the defensive side that he did last year.
Kebba Njie came over to Penn State, where he was in rotation and playing 14.3 minutes per game, started 26 of 37 as a true freshman. I really like his size at such a young age. At 6'10", 250. What is the learning curve as he shot 52% from the field for you last year?
For him, I think having him as a guy he's the only guy on our team that's been through a practice with me. Being able to say something or call out a drill or having somebody that knows what you're doing is really important. And, he has really used his voice to lead in that way to try and help other guys kind of adjust to having a new coach, right? It's not new for him because, he got a chance to play for me last year. I think offensively, his game will take another step. We had 4 seniors around him last year in the starting lineup, and he was the 5th option of those guys, and we didn't play through him. He didn't get as many opportunities as those other guys. I think his opportunities are going to go up, which in turn his production should go up. So we're looking for big things for him on the offensive end, while still being able to do the things that got him to start those games was, defend and rebound at a high level for us.
3 freshmen come into your program as of now. Your son, Braden, was rated the number 3 high schooler in Pennsylvania by ESPN.com. Tell us about his game and his development inside of a program and then outside, as you're his father.
Yeah, he kind of goes along the same way as Kebba. I've never coached him before, but he got a chance to watch us practice every single day last year. So he's been around the program. He knows when you say different things, like what it means and where to go. I think that has helped him in his learning curve a little bit. His calling card is his shooting, and he's a guy that can shoot off the dribble. He can catch and shoot, or he can shoot on the move. So we need to find different ways to get him involved and use his gravity as a shooter to help other guys on the court. Off the court, it's been an easy adjustment, right? I think having teammates that he was already familiar with has helped his transition and kind of eased his way into college a little bit. So, he's getting a true freshman experience here at Notre Dame. And, even though his mom and dad live 6 miles up the road, he's, entrenched in the culture here on campus. And I think he's enjoying that.
It's awesome. I was curious, the inside-outside attack, synonymous with your teams. How did that become a key in your coaching philosophy?
I think a lot of that, dates back to, a mix of some things that we did at Butler and some at Purdue, and then going to the Celtics kind of developed our offensive philosophy. I think, we're a program that's always going to shoot a bunch of threes. So we're going to have shooting, and that's a paramount. So that skill is a paramount for our system and how we want to play. Because that opens up the court for other things. That opens up the court for guys to drive and attack the rim. And maybe post up or get into the mid-range, whatever that may be. So our ability to make twos and get twos versus a set defense is all predicated on our ability to make threes. So those things go hand in hand. And when you have both of those, I think that's when your team can really get clicking offensively.
So how much does that philosophy cover the playbook? Like, for example, how many plays will you have on average for an upcoming game based on inside, outside?
You know, for us, they do it in different ways, right? Kebba Njie is going to be a guy that can score on the inside, but he can also step outside and make threes if needed to. I think we have a freshman point guard, Marcus Burton, who's a dynamic guard that can get into the paint and score, where, you know, he may score more inside as twos than, you know, one of our seniors, Matt Zona, who's coming back, who's a big guy that can really shoot the basketball. So playing untraditional, I think it's something that we'll do. You know, our ability to score, and then we kind of dictate how we play based on how people are guarding us. But versatility, I think, is really big, and having guys that can do a little bit of both. We try and recruit to that.
As you have watched, you know, films, I guess, some anyway, the ACC opponents since you come over to Notre Dame, what has been the differences, maybe the biggest differences that you've seen between ACC play and Big Ten play from, you know, the point of view of a coach?
Yeah, I think the ACC is playing at a faster tempo. I think that's the one thing that stands out. The Big Ten is full of really good, tough, half-court, man-to-man defensive teams. They make it hard for you to score in transition, and it really slows the game down. You know, the league's been predicated around, you know, dominant centers, dominant big guys. If you think about a Hunter Dickinson or a Zach Edey or, you know, Trace Jackson Davis, like that's been the calling card of the league, especially here recently, where those guys have been really good. The ACC is an up-tempo league, and it's more guard dominated. Where you see most of the players that are getting drafted are a lot of, you know, fast-paced, fast-twitch guards. So being able to defend that, being able to stop that, being able to set our defense so we're not giving up those kind of transition baskets and making people kind of earn things in the half court is how we're going to have to try and play a little bit of a Big Ten style in a different league. Last
thing, Coach Shrewsberry, looking at the NBA, Denver makes it to the championship for the first time in the 47 years they've been an NBA member, and they win. So do you go scan film on teams where there is a fit between types or styles of players that you may have at the college level?
Yeah, we play a pretty NBA heavy style already, where it's kind of, we give you a lot of 5-out looks. Now there's, you know, there could be teams that try and mimic what they do, right? Once basketball is a copycat league, and once they see some people doing something, they try and imitate it and see if it can work for them. Like, you know, the major difference is there's nobody walking around college basketball like Jokic. It's probably not, there's not very many people walking around like him in the NBA. But the chemistry that those guys have, the angles that they play with, the unselfishness, are all things that you can take from that. You know, if you can't get quite the same level of players, can you do it at the same pace that they play at? Can you do a similar style with what you have and what you've concocted as a team? So there's some small things that I think we could take from that team, how you build that roster, how they were put together, and finally able to you know, reach the pinnacle of NBA basketball, and then try and make that a little bit of what we do here at Notre Dame.
Coach Micah Shrewsberry, and as you guys know, the Fighting Irish hired a good one here to take the program forward. Coach, I appreciate your time today, and I wish you the best going forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on with you.
Thank you. It's always fun.